Well, good evening from around the world. Welcome all Facebook fans. Welcome Ashley, Sameena, and Professor Mehreen will be joining us soon from South Africa. I am MrB. I'm here in Houston at my home base, and I want to call the whole world my base because I love being everywhere. So look forward to continuing our conversation today. Our conversation last week was about mistaken kindness in giving. You know, we've been covering the giving series from the book, The Art of Giving Back, and we've been covering every nugget of what does it really mean to give back. And last week, we started on the topic of mistaken kindness, giving back mistakenly. And so today we want to continue with our guest speaker and address the responses from that part of the article, that particular nugget. What does it mean, mistaken kindness in giving back? Sameena?
Hi, good evening to everyone and good morning. And I'm not sure what time of the day in different parts of the world it is. Firstly, I'm very glad that despite being wherever we are, we're still able to continue our podcast today. I have traveled to India. I live in Dubai. I have traveled to India because of it's my annual vacation, and you can see how happy I am. All right. Okay, and we have a very special guest today. That is Mr. Ashley Fernandez, who is the co-founder and president of RIA Foundation. Before I ask Ashley to introduce himself and tell us what he does and how long he's been doing it for, Ashley was a very good friend of mine and is a very good friend of mine right now. And we used to work in the same corporate many years ago. And it's just that despite us moving away to wherever we are and destiny took us to different parts of the world, we are still connected, and that defines exactly, in terms of what kind of a human being he is and what values I see in him as a person, and that's why I wanted him to be on this show. So without wasting much time, Ashley, yes, over to you, and please tell us, what is it that motivated you to really start RIA Foundation? We'd like to hear from you. Why this shift from the corporate world into such a noble cause? And I'm sure you have a lot of challenges in doing what you do. And yes, the topic is definitely mistaken kindness in giving. However, like Mr. B said, we have also talked about the intention of giving, and you really need to have an intent to give back. So we can touch upon various aspects. Yes, Ashley, we'd like to hear from you.
Thank you, Samina. Thank you, Mr. B. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night across the world. And it's a beautiful, bright day in Mangalore, where I stay. My name is Ashley Fernandez. I'm a co-founder of RIA Foundation. It's an organization working for the intellectually challenged. We run a lifetime care home here in Mangalore. So it's an organization that's registered as a NGO, non-profit, and we take care of the intellectually challenged from age 0 to upwards. What's different about the lifetime care unit that we run is we have training as part of our integral program, wherein other than just being a lifetime care, we thought we should be able to teach our residents, uh, identify their talent and try to teach them something new and get them to expose their uh, talent that they have. So we run regular training programs other than the caregiving and the medical attention. So when we started off RIA Foundation, or should I tell you, I mean, when I was working with the corporate a few years back, I happened to meet a colleague of mine. Her name was Kirtana. Um, and I was telling her that, I wanted to start a school for the children. And she very casually asked me a question. What do you know about disability? And at that point of time, it was somewhere during 95, 96, I suppose, in the year 95, 96. When she asked me about disability, the only thing I knew about disability is people who are blind or mute. Uh, I absolutely had no idea. And that's when she introduced me to her daughter, who was an intellectually challenged autistic child. Um and it opened the world to me. I mean, I was so surprised, even in the 21st century, me being in the corporate world. I had no idea about disability. So I was quite excited, and I thought we should do something to that community. And that's when we spent about 3 years of our time visiting various NGOs and seeing how we could contribute within that sector. And during those 3 years, what I realized is that there are a lot of special schools in India. There were a lot of special schools in India for these special children. But after school, there was nothing. The answer to the question for parents, you know, after school, after me, what that space was blank, and that's when I thought we realized we should address that bit of it, and that's how we registered a trust called RIA Foundation. So at RIA Foundation, we run a lifetime care home. The focus is to target uh, especially children who are from the weaker section of the society, who cannot afford even a square meal. School is a very far off dream. So we attend to these children. Uh, we ensure we provide them nutritious and hygienic food, because their immune system is very weak as compared to you and me. So we thought the basic thing has to be addressed is the food, and after food is the medications. They needed medical intervention, because they have a lot of medicines that are required for their growth. And that's how we thought medication and nutrition has to go hand in hand. But then we also realized is, we do not want to keep them within the four walls. We want to explore them. We want to show the world that they too have talent. They're one amongst us. And that's how we started introducing a training program. We run a program wherein our vocational programs are basically tailor made to each individual, where we identify their skills and see how we could promote it to the outer world. And the whole idea of RIA Foundation is we wanted to be an organization, not with quantity, but with quality. So we very specifically take about 25 residents and constantly work on them to ensure that we are able to give in 100% to make sure that we realize the dream that we are set out to be.
Wow, wow. Sameena, that's definitely the art of giving back.
Yes, absolutely. That is a true art of giving back.
Professor Mia is on too now.
Walaikum salam. Walaikum salam. How are you?
Good, good. Alhamdulillah. Our heart goes out to all of you there because of the situations you are in, and you're helping. You're just stepping up even in Ramadan to help those folks. How's the situation there?
Thank you so much. It is not good. It is not good. It is the saddest thing to have to know that what you have this hope of picking up a child from rubble, and yet you've actually just find a lifeless being. So we've lost over 400 people so far. But we're trying to house as many as we can within community halls and feed and try and keep elders who've lost all their medication. And the problem we're having is access, road closures, etc. But we keep on, we keep going on. So we just keep praying. That's all.
I'm saying, just to clarify, we were talking about the flooding in South Africa's eastern provinces.
Yes, we are. I'm in KwaZulu-Natal, which is the province nearest to the ocean. And it's obviously affected us because of the cyclone effect, which was broadcast across the globe, and it's hit us quite badly. So we just keep on, though. We keep praying. We keep on. We keep the faith. We hope. We got to doing that. That's what we have to do to get through this. But thank you so much. We just keep praying.
Inshallah, inshallah.
It just made me feel like what Ashley was just describing, where he saw a problem waiting for a cure. And we come on this show regularly. Each of us have different lives, and your life right now is being definitely impacted by bad weather and crucial weather. And it always makes room for more and more needs as we talk about giving back and ways of giving back.
Absolutely. And I just feel like right now, the more we're giving, or I'm trying, and my team is trying, and people out here are trying. Right now, you're finding actual civilians just becoming heroes, you know, and that's because the actual heroes can't get to specific spaces because roads have caved in. So you got actual main civilians just trying to pull up their neighbors, trying to help each other. And that's really just, that is the art of giving back. And you know, I mean, this was not something we even saw coming, but you're finding people just giving and trying to give more. And that's just really beautiful in its own way. It's sad it's coming out in this way, but it's beautiful to see that it's possible. It is possible.
And you can see it does tie together, Ashley, because again, you took an action, and I think it was providing a autistic, was it an autistic group that you were concentrating on, Ashley?
Yeah, the autistic children. I mean, it's one of the disabilities
Right.
that we attend to. One of the many disabilities. One of them is autism.
I just want to say something too, Brother Ashley. I was listening to you. Sorry, I came on late, but I just really am somebody who's, you know, we're fighting for the cause as well. And that's purely because I have friends who have autistic children. And it's you know, the one thing we found is that we need to create more awareness about autism. And that's because many people do not even understand what autism is. They just feel that it is something where you have to, you know, it's a cast aside approach at the moment. And we're just trying to teach, and I love what you are doing, that autistic people, autistic children, autistic people are just uniquely different. They don't need the stigma because they're just different. They can do things beautifully in their own way, you know, and it's amazing the talent that autistic children and people have, because they do have it. It just needs for us to be, you know, recognize it. So I love what you're doing, and the fact that you're dealing more with quality than quantity, because we, you know, at the UN level, which is where we're sitting at, we're trying to deal with a goal of one of the SDG goals is to try and avoid this inequality. And one of the reasons of inequality is based on disabilities. People are treated differently and are being treated with inequality purely based on disability. And autism is one of them. And we're just trying to show that it does not have to be the case. They need to be accepted. They need to be granted similar or equal chances and opportunities, because they can be. That what you just said about the gap that you found, where after school there is nothing for them. That's exactly where the battle starts for them, is that acceptance level after that point. So I love what you're doing. It's really, really wonderful work.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you so much, and more power to you, to the work that you're doing. And you know, all our prayers at this time to you and your team in this amazing work that you are doing. I really hope we are able to reach out to you through our prayers, and you'll be able to do justice to all those people over there.
Yeah. And,
Thank you.
Sameena, I have a question for Ashley too.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, no, because you know, we were talking about that subject of mistaken giving and mistaken kindness in giving. But it's quite clear when you find a cause and you stick to it and take care of it, that you feel that there's no mistake in what you did. So again, you made a good assessment of what you were interested in, and then you even admitted you were so surprised it's out there in this 21st century. Tell me more.
Yes, when we started it, we were, you know, it was quite a new thing for us, because I was working in the corporate, so it's more like if I have to give you a synonym of it, it's more like, you know, you're a rich child, you've not seen the poor world.
Right.
So when you're working in the corporate, you have the money, you have the luxury, you have everything at your disposal. So when you go out to start an NGO and you're working with these children, you are not prepared. You know, you have to, you know, leave all those luxuries behind and stoop down to a level where you need to start from the grassroots level.
So actually, without exposing everything, what was one of the first mistakes you thought you made then, when you were trying to give them or give back to them?
Well, when I started off, I had this notion that, you know, when you tell people that you're working for an NGO, there would be a lot of people that would come and help you just by telling the word NGO. But then I realized that it's your battle. You just have to be alone, and you have to do it. And once you do it and you are strong, that's when people would see you and then support you.
Very true. Very true. I have, this is so amazing because I want to back off so Sameena can get some questions in, because I have so many questions for you. I love what you're saying.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And of course, yes, like Ashley mentioned, there would be challenges in doing what he does. In fact, huge challenges. But then covering our topic of mistake and kindness and giving, not from the people who he has helped, maybe, but from others, he could have encountered those challenges that, though he didn't mean a certain thing, not just Ashley, anybody running an NGO for that matter. If you have just stepped into that and you tend to be doing something for a group of people because you believe that they deserve to be helped and they deserve to be included in the societies. It's There are some people still in the society who feel that we're just doing it for our own interest. It could be taken wrong in terms of the help and support we are extending to the group without even thinking twice. They might just mistake us there.
And I think that's one of the biggest factors in mistaken giving and mistaken kindness, because someone always thinks, even if you're smiling, even if you're holding the door open, even if you're giving a greeting to a stranger, they think, the way today's world is, they think you have an ulterior motive. And so it becomes like, wow, why did I mistakenly even try to help this person? And so we have to kind of gauge it to determine why are we doing this? Now, one of the other questions that came to mind, was and I think people sometimes are asking me, you're talking to people halfway around the world. I want to know, and this is how I started podcasting. I wanted the whole world to benefit from what we're saying. I think they may want to know, how can they start anywhere in the world, an NGO or an organization to help somebody on any subject? What did you have to be rich to start, Ashley?
Oh, yes, that was something that everybody told me when I set out to do what I was doing. They told me philanthropy is only for the rich. You need to have a lot of money to give back, and it did not make sense to me, because I thought money was always secondary. It is the human element that is needed.
Yes.
The first thing about starting an NGO is, I think we need to realize that we are part of this world, and there's another person there who needs us, and that's how we need to help them. So once we do that, I think the first step is taken.
For the rest of the world, Professor Mia, what does the rest of the world know an NGO is? Some people live in different places, probably have no idea.
Yeah, I just firstly have to agree with what Ashley is saying, and that is that, I have an NGO here in South Africa, and that is where my humanitarian aid work comes from. And I have to tell you that NGO is still to open up a bank account, to be quite honest, even though it has an NPO number. I have just really been blessed that everything that I have been able to do in terms of offering aid when it comes to groceries, whether it comes to a blanket, whether it comes to whatever it is that has been given, purely my NGO, for example, started off with an intention. And that is, my husband and I sat and we said, there's so much of need across our community, across society. Let us just try and do something. It started off with a mere intention to help because we wanted to make the difference. And he had gone overseas and I had just carried on with it. And I had, because I knew people, I had networked with them and told them what my intention was and where I wanted to go with it. And I had people come on board, not financially, because I didn't want to accept money at the time, but they came on because I said I wanted groceries that needed to go here. They brought the groceries to me. I wanted blankets because I needed to go there. They brought the blankets to me. These are just examples. And I'm saying if your intention is pure enough, you will be able to get the product that's needed firstly, and then it will grow from there. And now, obviously, people now have seen, like Ashley is saying, once you start to do the work and you progress and you start getting out there, then suddenly people start to say, oh, okay, I want to know you now.
Yeah.
But when you start off and you don't have a cent to you, then at that point, everybody's like, now you want to do that, just you go ahead. That's the way it is, actually. And that is how it is. But NGOs, many people have this misconception that an NGO is all about money, and it's not. NGOs are non-governmental organizations. They're organizations that work for the community without aid from the government financially.
Okay,
So
very
basically,
well.
that's exactly what we're doing.
And I wanted that to come out because for listeners around the world, if you want to help someone, yes, you can go across the street and help your neighbor, or you can stop in the town and help a stranger. But when you want to take a big effort to keep helping people for the cause that you have, like I remember there was a time where someone over here, they were collecting used garments so they can get to someone who might need them in another part of the world, without elaborating. And so the whole idea, if that was your cause to bring shoes, of all the used shoes or used books in one part of the world to another part of the world that someone could use it, that becomes like an NGO. It's your cause. It's a non-governmental funded giving back type organization. Very nice. Thank you.
Yes, I'd just like to add here that, yes, we are giving money or we are giving goods in kind. And like you said, Mr. B, earlier in one of the episodes, that, just giving the person for one day and enabling him to earn his own living is a more greater giving. So I'm sure, like what Ashley just mentioned, he's literally worried about, what happens to the autistic child or the differently able person after his guardians are gone away from this world, or after his parents have left him or her parents have left him. So that's why Ashley is trying to probably also train these individuals on some vocational training, some things where they can actually earn a living from themselves for themselves. So Ashley, if you could just tell us a little bit about what kind of trainings and how do you prepare these individuals to be independent on with themselves in future.
Samina, what we currently do is, because the challenge that we are facing at the moment is we are working with the severe children. Uh,
Mhm.
the place that I come from, everybody wants to take the easy ones, the ones that you can work with
Yeah.
and showcase them to the world. So we decided that we would work with the severely challenged and try and first see that we could give them the basics that they needed. So we spent a
Yeah.
long time, we spent a lot of years in making sure we give them the therapies that are needed, giving them the right food, so that they're able to strengthen themselves. And now we've started small initiatives, like for example, we've started glass paintings, we've started claying few things that they could do, very very small things. But then, like I keep telling people, special with the special children, like for example, for you and me, holding a toothbrush would be an easy task, but for the
Yeah.
special children, that could be a thing that would take a lifetime to learn. Just holding
Again.
a brush is a huge milestone that they achieve. So achieving milestones with these special children is a very tedious task, and our effort is that we want to spend a lot of time to make sure that there is no pressure on them uh, to perform, but we want them to enjoy uh, life like how you and me do, and then take it up step by step to say,
Yes.
small things when the world could encourage them. We don't want to
Nice.
let them behind.
Very good.
Yes.
So I know we have covered the subject well. And I wanted to make sure before we closing, because I thought I saw a chapter of your organization here in the US.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, Mr. B, you're saying something?
I was asking Ashley if I think I saw online, like if his organization is also here in the US. Is that true too?
No, we are not in the US. We are running it only in India,
I see.
and very specifically at Mangalore.
Good. And at
Probably
least, sorry?
name. I'm sorry. I think it's the same name for the
Okay,
foundation.
the same name. Okay. Well, at least we have this contact. We have Sameena and you here with Dr. Mehreen. And if we or any of our listeners wanted to know how to get started on their own and really want to start something from their heart that they want to help others, at least we can guide them and where they can find out, what are the challenges of starting and what does it take to start. And I think I'm asking this for everyone. if you would agree with me, what is the number one qualification needed in order to start helping or to start giving back?
Oh, I think the only quality is you need to give. The day you think you see another human being and you want to help, I think you're qualified to get going there.
I agree, and I think I just like to add that the second thing to that would be commitment. If you want to start doing something like this, you have to be committed to doing it. It's not just a one thing; it has to be commitment from you. And remember that commitment is not just to the people; it's to yourself, because you're creating the intention and your heart is in it. But you need to be committed, because those people are then going to start looking to you continuously until they can self-sustain again. So you got to be. But I have to say, Ashley, just one quick thing. I know that dealing with autistic children, this is from seeing my friends do it. My friend does have an autistic son, and I love him to bits. It requires so much of patience. It really requires a lot of patience to have to deal with this on a daily basis. So the people that you have doing this in your organization with the children or the adults or whatever your age groups are you training other trainers to continue this, to keep going, or are you doing this just as a starter phase right now?
No, we are training a whole lot of people to take care of them.
Lovely.
And other than what we also do is we take them to social places. Like for example, we take them to the malls, we take them to the
Okay.
beaches, so that even people around are sensitized in terms of understanding how to deal with these children. What we don't want them to sympathize with them. Rather, we want to see them encouraging them. So most of our programs are outdoors, but we very specifically train people to for a long term to handle these children.
Yeah. And like we spoke
Okay,
about
lovely.
before in our one of our podcasts, we mentioned, especially when we were talking about intent, is raising up children in a way that they can become members of society and not even a perceived menace to society. And so I really, really appreciate these points you guys are bringing up, because everyone should maintain their dignity and have an opportunity to be a member of society, because every human is a real human inside. And I know one additional thing you said is something we covered on this program also, is that you do not have to be rich or to have deep pockets to have money in order to give back. And I applaud you. I really appreciate you very much for being on the program, because it's a perfect example of the art of giving back. And we will continue to perpetuate this idea, this conversation, and looking forward to having you back on the program again.
Yes, absolutely. It's such a
Thank you, Mr. B.
realization.
Thank you.
And one of the attributes which the person also needs to have is the realization of the need. And I think Ashley really realized that at some point that, these people needed his support, and he started off. Thank you so much, Ashley. And we're very proud of what you're doing.
And
Thank you, Sameena. Thank you, Mr. B. Thank you, Professor Mia. I'm not very sure if I would have vocally been able to communicate, about the work I do. But yes, the passion is there, the commitment is there, and I would also invite you to come whenever you come down to India. Do visit our NGO. Spend some time with us.
Definitely.
Sameena, if I could just ask, maybe via you, to get Ashley's details, because I'd like for him to get in touch with the autistic group that's working here as well, and another one that's working in the USA, and there's one that's working in Australia. If they could, collaborate with him, it would be really, really awesome.
Very nice, wonderful. Right here on Freetalk.
Oh, that's very nice.
Right here. This is what we believe in, right?
Thank
here
you,
on
Professor
Freetalk.
Mia.
Absolutely. Sure, definitely.
Thank you, Professor
We
Mia.
will keep in
We
touch
really love
with
to connect.
Ashley. Yes, we will keep in touch with Ashley on the social media accounts. He's on Facebook and Instagram. And we will also make a mention in terms of where or what website or how we can get in touch with Ashley if anybody wants to reach out to Ashley. Yeah.
Yes, thank you so very much.
Okay, thank you.
You guys have a wonderful day. Again, thank you for being on. I'm looking forward to meeting up with you when I myself, Mr. B, travel to India. Sameena, it is wonderful that you are there. And
Well,
Professor Mia, South Africa, please bear with the conditions. We'll keep praying on our end that the rains will subside, and we'll try and catch up with and keep us up to date actually on what's happening in your area. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Inshallah, Allah will have mercy on us, and especially during this month, and we will all be safe and protected. Thank you again for everybody's prayer.
Amen.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. God bless you all. Thank you.
Take care. Thank you, Mr. B. Thank you.